Is there problem?
Potential problem.
Yeah, I'm just looking for my baby's mama. Look at this. Oh, and she's all,
Okay, you know what? You try blasting water up your asshole for 3 years straight. 3 years straight.
The most useless waste of time podcast ever created. No intelligent person needs waste their time.
you have Coppola, Scorsese, and then you have fucking Neil Breen.
Nobody's gonna holler at my microphone. Everybody there! It's money!
You're listening to the Potential Problems Podcast. Fuck you, pay me. Hashtag just leave it in. Just leave it in.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Potential Problems Podcast, by the ocean. Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Thanks for joining us today or tomorrow or whenever you play this back. Potential Problems Podcast. I'm John Cuellar. That is...
I'm Alan Clark. What's up?
Hey, how are you doing, Alan?
Doing pretty good.
No guest today, just you and I.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
We can
Talk
make
about
it if we
stuff.
try.
We can make it if we try. We were talking before the show about some stuff. One of the things we were talking about was what intro song to do. And that one that played us in was Cake by the Ocean. Have you ever heard of that song before?
No, I'm not big into Jonas Brothers solo ventures.
Okay.
Or their group ventures, if I'm being totally honest
Wow.
with you.
Do you even like music, bro?
I like some music. Yeah, the other night Dreamweaver came on, and I was
yeah.
like, "Hey, that's it sounds spooky," and then it's not.
Yeah. It sounds spooky.
At the very beginning,
Makes
it's like
me
a pipe
scared.
organ. It's like
Yeah.
very tense, and then it's all of a sudden just a dude wanting a chick.
People were doing so much coke back in the 70s, right, dude? Like all that sparkle and twinkle. And
What if we scare people at the beginning and then hit them
Yeah.
with a smooth?
yeah, trip them out, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting time for music. No, that's a cool song. Where did you first hear that song, Dreamweaver?
Had to be on like Wayne's World or
World,
something,
right?
or
Yeah.
even before that, probably just like classic rock radio stations driving through little fucking towns.
Yeah, that's I think I remember seeing it on Wayne's World first. That was the first time ever I
Yeah.
heard that song. And then they played it on the radio for many years after that. It became like a part of like a staple of the classic rock station. Dreamweaver would come on every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
You remember
Yeah.
that? The good old days of radio, Alan.
I mean, we were very different ages, but sure.
Yeah.
It was still coming on.
So you have, oh gosh, what's the name of that band that does Cake by the Ocean? I'm trying to remember.
Wasn't it Nice or something like that? DNCE, like dance.
DNCE, but there's no A.
There's no A.
Yeah, it's DNCE. Okay. I'm sure it stands for something.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Do not celebrate everything.
Circumcise everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
We
I'll
need
take
some
that.
turtlenecks out there, buddy.
Yeah.
I enjoy that song. Alan, that's not up your alley.
I like the beat. I think
The beat's dope, huh?
the song sounded good, and it sounds like everyone's having a nice time at the beach, eating some cake that might have gotten a little sand on, but you just brush it off. That's okay.
Yeah, can you go forward? I mean, is this the video?
No,
Can
this
you-
is the instrumental.
Are you able to go? I want to see because this video came out, I think, a good 10 years ago. And Fat
8.
Jew, 8 years, and Fat Jew is in this. Now, for those of you that don't remember Fat Jew, he started out on Twitter, right? I think.
I think so. Yeah.
He
Wasn't he
became
just like
social
sharing memes and videos?
Social media famous.
Social media face.
Yes, well, he did have a face, and he was on social media. And he got famous that way, but he was stealing jokes and memes and that
That's
kind
what
of
it
thing,
was.
right?
Yeah.
But he's in this video.
I feel like he wouldn't have gotten as popular if Joe Rogan just wouldn't have fucking talked about him. you know?
think, was Joe Rogan the first one to talk about him?
He was one of them that just kept talking about him, and it's like the Andrew Tate thing, just kept talking about him to the point where he became this elevated thing where
Yeah, like,
everybody's like,
no
maybe I
one-
should check him out.
It sounds like a cool dude.
Yeah.
Do you think that he? Oh yeah, there we go. Fat Jew. Can you say that anymore? It seems like you can't say that now.
I don't
Oh
know.
no,
if
you
you're-
can't say it.
The artist formerly known as Fat Jew.
Yeah, well, you can say Fat Jew on college campuses.
Oh.
You slice it, it's a piece of cake. Now let's go to Lisa on the
I feel like that guy's famous.
So which is that a Jonas?
That's a Jonas brother. See, they got chicks in there. These chicks are all 30 now.
Boo! What are we even doing? Look, that butt has gone to waste, is what you're saying.
Well, they're in my age range, is what I'm saying. 30 is
30?
good. Yeah, 30 is good.
You got hippie Jesus playing the drums too.
Yeah.
Seems like a fun
It is
time.
a fun video. Can you go forward to look for Fat Jew? Where is he? He gets out of the pool. And, oh, yeah, there we
Okay.
go. We go. Oh, there he goes. You notice how almost anything looks cool if you do it in slow motion, right? Because he's just doing this. And you're like, whoa, it looks like a good time. It looks more cinematic. Slow motion and cinematic. I remember reading something about who came up with the technique of slow motion, but
Well, I know who came up with the technique of overusing it. Fucking Zack Snyder.
what about John Woo?
Oh, John Woo also,
Right.
man. But it wasn't like 33% of Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League or whatever it was, wasn't a third of it slow motion?
I think a lot of it was.
Like purely 1/3 of the runtime was slow motion.
I don't know.
I would go back in and edit the slow motion parts to be a little quicker.
Make them fast motion
Yeah.
and put Benny Hill music behind it.
Yeah, make it look all strange.
Anything with Benny Hill music behind it is funny.
Yeah, and put the color in the damn movie. You're not creative because you're taking away color and upping the contrast. You're getting people to buy a movie twice.
You think so? That's your personal opinion? So what happened? I haven't heard of Fat Jew. Can you Google where is Fat Jew? Where is Fat Jew now? Did he change his name? I thought he changed his name and tried to step away from the.
Josh Ostrovsky,
Oh, okay.
known professionally as the Fat Jewish.
The Fat Jewish.
So it has changed. I wasn't sure if that was just something that Joe Rogan was saying and to be like, I'm watching myself.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe I changed it.
Oh, he's also now a plus-size model. So that's
What?
good. Yeah.
Okay. Is he still a comedian? Does he tour?
It seems to be. He's still doing something. I don't know. Here's his Instagram.
9 point. Why would he dress up as a?
That's Heidi Klum.
It's Heidi Klum.
Yeah, remember? That was one of her Halloween costumes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. She's like, I'm a tapeworm. You still want to fuck me, right? Everyone's like, yeah, pretty much. And they're right for saying so. But yeah, it seems to be more of just like the same kind of stuff, just repurposing other people's content. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything really to what he's still doing. It seems like he might just still trying to be.
If you have how many followers?
9.5 million
Do you just get money from Instagram
for existing?
just for having an account or posting any videos?
I'm sure there's like not directly, but there might be like partnerships where there's brand partnerships that you can build in. They'll pay you to like shout them out or some stuff like that.
Well, good for him, I guess. Good for him.
By the look of this video, I'd say he's had one too many cake by the ocean.
Yeah, well, he's a plus-size model. He's got cake in his beard.
And we did say before the show that it was a missed opportunity not to use this song as the intro for when we were discussing Cake Fart.
That's one of the
Cake
things
Fart
we
by the
talked
ocean.
about, yeah, before the show. Now, this guy, he has a certain level of coolness, and when it comes to mixing music and coolness, you get every once in a while you'll get someone that kind of leaves you in awe. And we've been following this next guy we've all been fascinated by this next guy. If you can guess, listeners, watchers, not you, Alan, you're moving the show along.
I wasn't going to.
Guess. But if you can guess, listeners, who it is, we'll give you $1 million. Can't guess? Oh, too bad. The Master of Coolness, he kicked off a tour. They're in the middle of this tour, right?
The Loserville tour.
Loserville tour.
Welcome to Loserville.
And so he's been going out on stage. He's been making
Opening
an
up
impact.
shows for Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah,
Opening the shows. First act of the night. Opening the show when it's still like, sunlight in everybody's face.
How much time does he do you think?
I think he does like a 30-minute set by the looks of that video you sent in last week.
Yeah.
It's like a 35-minute set.
Now, how long should an opening band stay out there?
First act, I mean, given all the setup time and everything, time between, the other bands, I think 25, 30 minutes is probably fair.
Okay.
It's more than fair.
What if it's there's two bands, you're the opener, and then there's the big band. So you're opening for someone like
Give them 40 minutes.
I say 10 minutes.
Oh,
10
you
minutes
think
and
10?
get the fuck off the stage.
You don't want a mini concert?
Then I want a 20-minute comedy break in between
Oh,
the
God.
opening band.
You want some asshole to just walk up there? I know you guys were all just grooving. What's this dude do for a living?
Hey, what's your name? Yeah, that's what I want. I think it'd be a way to get the crowd, get them excited to listen to music again after some guy tells jokes for 20 minutes, 40 minutes.
He gets a longer set than the opening act for the
Yeah,
band.
40-minute set. And then how much time the main band gets? 15 minutes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's pretty good,
and
dude.
one 5-minute encore.
I guess if you break it down with each member of the band, they get an amount of time, right? And that
Yeah.
equals up to the amount of time you would get on stage doing
Oh, yeah,
comedy.
there
So
you go.
That's fair.
It's fair. I think it's very fair decision.
Combined stage time. With a combined stage time of 3,000 years. They've been touring like 40 years.
Oh yeah, Slayer definitely, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they retire recently?
They retired, but they came back again, I think.
Really? Again?
Yeah, Kerry King, he's just like, that's the guy's name, right? I think that's the
know.
guy's name from Slayer. But yeah, they're like, yeah, we still have to slay.
There's still stuff to be slain.
Yeah.
There's still pentagrams to be drawn.
Yeah, dude. There's still evangelicals and Methodists to freak out. And
Some people to make upset.
yeah.
So this first guy we're going over, he's without further ado, let's just play his clip.
Ladies and
Because-
gentlemen, the comeback king.
Oh yeah, the Feld King. This is gosh, how many? In front of a packed house.
Rocking a solo.
Look at those faces. Those are rock faces for sure. Man, that's some harmonics. Have you seen harmonics like that?
The bass player.
Yeah, well, I thought that was Ted Nugent. That's not the Nuge? Is that not the Nuge?
Dude, you know what's so great about Corey Feldman playing this solo?
What?
Is it's exactly how I would play a solo that I didn't know. Like, if I was jamming a Metallica song. So when I was learning fucking playing guitar, I would learn chords. I could play single notes. If it was slow enough, Metallica riffs, things like that, Seek and Destroy, it's all all over the place on the lower part. But as soon as it got to the solos, I would just make shit up, dude.
Yeah.
There was no way I was ever going to actually learn a solo because I wasn't that good of a guitar player. But I would play just whatever the fuck, and it always sounded like shit. And my parents were like, he's good. He can play lead.
Did you play with your teeth?
Just anything to waste some time because I'm not actually playing anything. Yeah. Just get to the fucking bridge.
Like the Ramones? Did they?
Yeah, that's
They
why I
ever
like their
le-
fucking shit. I could just sit there and play a whole album for like an hour. Well, 3 albums in an hour, but yeah. Yeah, so he's rocking that fucking solo.
And this is not the first time we've seen Corey Feldman. Is this from this looks like it's a different show, same outfit though, to me.
Could be, yeah. So Well, this is posted by Bob Kelly, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this was the one that they went to, I want to say it was just somewhere in New York, just like last week.
Okay.
Hitting those dead notes and open strings.
Right.
Ask me about my winner.
Why would the crowd say that? Oh, dude. Can we get a still of that face as soon as he finishes? Oh, check that out. That's when you know that you've just
Nailed
rocked,
it,
bro. Can you send? Is there any way to send me a screen grab of that?
Oh, yeah.
I could do a little memer.
Absolutely.
A what?
A memer. You heard me.
2 seconds later. So what do you mean you got this meme?
A what?
It's two completely different tones.
Thank you very much.
Is that Big J?
Yeah.
Corey.
And it's funny because leading up to this, they were kind of talking about how, like, we're going to this concert as a group, as a radio show. He hates us.
He does?
He hates them
no.
because all they do is just fucking antagonize. I mean, he's like, they're a mean-spirited show. There's enough negativity in the world.
Well, he's right about that.
It's exactly what we're doing.
Oh, well, I'm not making fun of him. I'm saying he's cool.
That's true. He is a good guitar player, and he's got the shiny outfit.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah, so...
Is he? Wait, let's get to the meat.
Sure.
Of this. Right to the meat of this.
I like meat.
Meaty subject here. Is he mentally deranged? Does he think he's good? Is he like know that it's cringe and he's like, I wear this cringe. I love this cringe. I know it. Like
I don't know. I can't tell.
He's like he looks like a slow Jimmy Page there. And then he's got like the younger version of the Nuge right behind him. But does he know he's this good? I mean, this whatever. Do you think there's that self-realization, or do you think like he honestly thinks he just rocked that solo? What do you think?
I'd love to think that he's in on it, because that would, you know, there's a lot of people that are doing this kind of stuff right now where they're just leaning into whatever public image is of them despite their efforts of trying to be taken seriously.
Like the
and some people do lean into it.
Like the president, Donald Trump?
Former.
Oh, well, he'll always be president to me. JK, folks. Let's see here. So, yeah, I mean, how much? Oh, you're going to go see him, right? Where is he playing?
Yeah, it's going to be Isleta Amphitheater in like
oh, shit.
2 weeks.
Here?
Yeah.
Well, if he's coming here.
Yeah, dude. Limp Bizkit is just
Hey.
like, whatever. I'm going to see Corey.
What if we could have him on the show? Do you think he's busy that weekend? Tell him that we'll hang out with them.
Well, they're busting gig to gig.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How does he feel about weed?
It's probably not good.
Because he's trying to be all sober.
Yeah.
Like that killed my friend Corey, bro.
But there's also like stories about him and his angels having like alleged crazy like weekend drug sex parties. So it's not out of the possibility, but he's working.
Okay. And then another question that I've been thinking about. Are ice dildos a thing? Like, do they actually make ice dildos, do you think?
I don't think they hand them out at the camps, no.
No, I mean, like, is it a thing that you can have? Well, I guess you'd have to have an ice sculptor. Are there ice sculptors that do that?
You think you gotta sculpt it? That would like, lead to edges. You just fill up a condom with water and freeze it.
Oh, okay. You can fill it up with anything and freeze it.
Yeah, it's like an Alaskan pipeline, but just...
but not as delicious. So your answer was you don't know. You don't know.
I'd like to think that he's in on it, but I don't think so.
So he's so fucked up and away from reality because of his experiences during his formative years in terms of how you perceive others and others perceive you, maybe
And there's alleged abuse and a whole toxic culture of, you know, being a child actor.
Do you think Charlie Sheen really boned Corey Haim? Wasn't that the thing that he said? He said that Charlie Sheen raped his friend. That was like right around the time that they were. That they were putting out all. He was. I think he was trying to put out that documentary.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the documentary.
My Truth, the rape of the two Coreys.
Where
like,
he
what?
never talked about being raped himself. He was just like, poor Haim.
It's like, I heard that he came all over him. Oh. And there's like, are you sure you weren't? He was like, no, I wasn't. Keep telling you.
I'm not that kind of guy.
It's just in total denial. Poor guy. Okay, buddy. Yeah, you don't have to. It's not. I mean, hey.
Yeah, so he's trying to do the music thing. He's trying to really make it take off. But again, he's writing pop songs that have electronic instruments in them.
And he dances.
That are being performed live by like a 4-piece band. So you have to convert the music. It doesn't transfer over the tone as well. It doesn't get the same sound across.
Plus, his voice isn't that great. I feel like if you have a good voice, you can make almost any band good. See Chris Cornell. But if you have subpar voice and subpar writing skills and subpar playing skills, you know, it's a little bit hard to be successful.
But he can dance because he grew up dancing with Michael Jackson.
Moves, yeah.
Grew up dancing only. Only dancing. Nothing else happened.
Yeah, nothing else. What about the sleepover parties? Only dancing.
It was dancing parties.
I was watching that. I'm sure we've talked about this before, but I was watching that Eminem video. Gosh, it's the one where he dances around like Osama, but he also has the one, but it's also in that one where he's dressed as Michael Jackson, and his hair starts on fire, and then his nose falls off.
Without Me?
Yes, and then I think so, and then at the very beginning, or at the very end, there's a bunch of kids jumping on his bed. Like at a sleepover, and I'm like, holy fuck, Eminem was ruthless back in the day, dude. Like he still kind of is. His last album, did you hear any of his? Oh, you don't.
I'm not big on Eminem.
Fan, huh?
Yeah,
but his most recent album was okay. Wasn't as good as the one before that. I forget what it's called, but it was still
Encore.
all right.
Oh, I know you're talking about the recent ones.
Yeah, there's the most recent one, Death of Marshall or the Death of Slim Shady, I think, and then the one before that, I can't remember the name, but that one was really good. So sometimes you just have to throw yourself into that character to be, like you said, just to like go with it, I guess. And sometimes if it's really outrageous but kind of acceptable, like Eminem was, then you can really blow up, right? If you walk that line between offending people too much and just enough, and people being like, oh, what is he going to say about this? Or did you hear what so-and-so did you know, that kind of shit. That can instill a reaction, right?
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, we should write Gooner's Paradise instead of Gangster's Paradise.
People would, there's definitely a market for it.
Yeah.
So one of the other things that we were talking about recently is movies. We were talking about that Kristen Stewart movie that you guys watched.
Love Lies Bleeding.
Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah.
And so you were telling me that's a movie about a girl who's... How does she meet this other girl?
So Kristen Stewart works at a gym,
and
she meets this other character who comes in. She's like a, what do you call it? From town to town straggler or whatever, comes in to work out.
Sure.
Has some confrontation with some dudes or something like that, and then they have some connection, and so Kristen Stewart gets like attached to this muscle chick.
And they end up, driving to different cities or?
Well, so the muscle chick wants to get into a bodybuilding contest out in Las Vegas, so she's got to bulk up and get in shape for it.
Okay.
And that's kind of the basis of the story, is like her wanting to get out to Las Vegas for this competition, and then some shit happens, and it's a really good movie. It was filmed here. Just worked a night on it.
Okay.
And so when we were watching it, she's like, "Oh, this is the night I was there for," when they like burn up a car in a ravine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Where did they film it? That part?
Just
somewhere in Albuquerque.
I think somewhere even further than that, like Santa Fe. I guess this production had like a lot of like really long nights, because a lot of this movie's at night.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like filmed in the spring, and it was just all nighttime shots.
Oh, cool. That's cool. That alone sounds pretty intriguing.
And Ed Harris plays a real good dirtbag.
Oh, really? For
Yeah.
once?
yeah, but his wig's a little funky, but it was good. Yeah, I suggest checking it out. I enjoyed it.
Okay. I love it. Loved Ed Harris in the Jackson Pollock movie, and then in The Right Stuff. He's really
Oh,
good in
yeah,
those.
yeah.
Let's see. So, has that girl been in anything else? I know Kristen Stewart has, but that other girl I'm trying to place.
Let me see.
I'm going to say she's been in Transformers. Case closed.
This doesn't. What the fuck? Dude, this is weird. Like, it says Love Lies Bleeding, but it's Jack something.
Jack Squartoir.
Malcolm McDowell movie. What is
As
going
the
on there?
19th century draws to an end, London something something.
Oh, yeah. What was this girl? Yeah, we're just trying to find out this girl's name. But yeah. She's all
Okay.
muscly. I thought she was hot.
So, one of the other movies that's come out recently, I will definitely check that out. One of the other movies that's come out recently was Deadpool.
Katie O'Brien.
Katie O'Brien. An Irish lady. No, not really. I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe.
Related to Conan.
Conan's sister. Oh, she has quite the hair.
Mandalorian, Twisters.
Oh, yeah,
All
okay.
pretty recent stuff. Going to see Twisters tomorrow.
Ant-Man and the Wasps.
Have you seen any of those videos from people who went and saw Twisters in 4XD?
No.
So,
Why?
Because it's a movie about twisters, so you get wind shown at you, you got fucking lightning
Oh,
going off,
really?
you get
Does it
water
look all
sprayed at
nuts?
you. Well, the seats rumble you around, so you feel like you're in the twister and get sprayed with water and all
Oh,
that.
cool.
Yeah.
What if you get head in that theater, right? During that movie. Is there
Just
a
when
potential
you
for danger?
want her to go deeper, it just bounces you up.
So Deadpool came out, and I came across this review of Deadpool. I still haven't seen it. You said you're not that big into.
I haven't even seen the second Deadpool.
So you probably won't see it anytime soon, but eventually, right?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if we'll feel the same way about Deadpool as this couple. You see, as we open the video here, there's a lady. Would you say she looks conservative? With her,
She looks like her husband put her into a trad wife lifestyle. And she's trying her hardest to accept it mentally, but she's fighting. She wants to break free.
Like, hurry up and make this video. I gotta get over to the other sister wives' house.
We went to see Deadpool and we left probably about 25-30 minutes into it. It is disgusting. It is so against the Lord. They are blaspheming our Creator, and you should not see it. Do not spend money on it. It is not worth anything. The fact that it has beat all of the MCU movies out blows me away, and it blows me away that people were bringing their children into it. But
People took their children to Sausage Party.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty awkward one, right?
Yeah, they thought it was just because it's animated. It was a kid's movie.
And a lot of parents didn't pay attention. I know a story of someone who put that because they didn't know. They just like, oh, it's a movie about food, and it's like a kid's movie. And they put it on and then like left their kid to watch it, and their kid came in.
And the first 10 minutes are fine.
Yeah.
It's like after minute 11 or 12 where a parent might leave the room and think everything's fine.
Well, yeah, the kid came in a few minutes later and said, I don't know if we should be watching this movie. That's the way these people felt.
Yeah, apparently so.
Let's see what else they have to say.
and it blows me away that people were bringing their children into it.
When the hell did this happen?
Theater, we left 25 minutes in, and I didn't ask for my money back. I truly was so guilty that I even allowed us to stay in as long as we did, because it started off bad. But no joke, they used Jesus' name in it.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Not his name.
In a disgusting way in that 30 minutes, like 10 times at least.
Why is Ryan Reynolds next to her?
It's
Ryan Reynolds.
a weird way to promote the movie.
It's like I'm the conservative Ryan Reynolds.
I love he hasn't said a goddamn word.
You're right. He hasn't said it, Alan. 'cause
Almost like he's mad that she was like, we're leaving this movie, and he was enjoying it.
Yeah, he's like, what? Are you sure? She's like, you mean you like this? He's like, no, I think it's blasphemous.
It's just, we took the time. We got a babysitter. We went out. We got our snacks in. And now we just have to go home.
He looks like Affleck, too, a little bit, huh?
This reminds me so much of, like, these friends that I had. We were watching an episode of Workaholics. You've seen Workaholics, right? It's a fun guy comedy for the fucking younger age group or whatever. And these dudes were into it. They were like, yeah, dude, these dudes are so funny. And then this one episode comes up where they're like, oh, we're going to do acid. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I might see God. And then another guy goes, I want to see something realer than God, like a dragon. And these dudes got so butthurt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, dude, that's fucked up, man. They can't be saying shit like that. Just saying the dragons are more real than... That's fucked up, man.
Well, also, they're taking a dragon's name in vain, so...
Yeah.
That's no good.
Yeah. It's just very, very similar. Like, how are you going to get that butthurt over something like that bit of it?
What do you think this lady would think of House of Dragon? Probably not be a big fan, right?
They don't blaspheme. Oh, wait a minute. The gods old and new?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, no. You get one god.
Well, they say the dragons are God, and then they kill it.
Yeah.
And then they parade it through the town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they may, hey, if you're saying that, then they'd say, well, first, there's a false idol. You're worshiping a dragon. And second...
Was it worshiping or just like, this is useful?
It's those. And why would you go on TikTok and leave a review? Is it a work, Alan?
It wasn't on TikTok originally, is my guess. I'm guessing they took. Hold on. I'm guessing they originally took to Twitter.
Oh.
Or X, formerly known as Twitter. Posted it there.
Dead-named.
Yeah, posted it there, and then some people were like, "Oh, this is." You believe this, and put it everywhere else, because that's the first I saw of it, was people being like, you believe these idiots?
Well, is this the actual person, or is this the person who
Chibamalo?
Who just posted it? Yeah.
Might have been another content thief.
Maybe.
But, yeah. I was telling you yesterday over the chat that I was watching this show called For All Mankind.
Yeah, what was that again?
So it's a show about the U.S. space race.
Oh, yeah.
In the 1960s. It starts in the 1960s.
But
the first episode opens up with like everybody's like, oh, it's the day of the moon landing. Mm-hmm. Everyone get to a TV, get to the bar, show all the people, the big event. Everyone's watching it, and they show the reporter, oh, we got the live feed, and they show it. We're coming down the ladder. And the person goes up in front of the camera, and then you see like a Russian flag on their fucking thing, and they start speaking Russian, and everyone's like, Russia beat us. So the whole show is kind of predicated on the idea that Russia got to the moon first, and that lights a fire under America's ass to kind of keep the space race going.
Oh, the space race.
Yeah.
And so is it like historically accurate or up to a point? Like, who's president in this world, this topsy-turvy world?
So JFK was not killed, apparently.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, JFK did not get killed before the moon thing.
He did, and he just kept fucking and socking.
At one point, early in the first season, he pardons Nixon.
Oh, shit.
There was like a phone call between them. He was like, Richard, I want to tell you, I'm going to pardon you. And he's like, I don't need that from you. I don't accept it. Like a whole political opponent type thing was going on. Yeah. But so it was fascinating because, the Russians get to the moon first. And then the U.S. is like, fuck, we're made to look like bitches. So they go there next. And Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin like fuck up the moon landing and end up all crooked.
Oh, really?
And almost crash the damn thing. And then so
did they live?
They live, yeah, but not before some suspense.
Oh, really?
No communication.
Are they crippled? Do they have their entire bodies remaining?
Yeah, they're fine.
Oh, good.
They clipped a wing, as they put it.
Okay.
They clipped a wing. But so this whole thing being like, okay, now Russia sends a woman to land on the moon. Okay, so now we got to send
what?
I know, free bleeding in a fucking in the lem. Hell no.
You sure about that?
Why would you press those sounds?
Yeah. So as soon as like they start this whole landing competition back and forth, then they're like, all right, well, we got to find ice. So they try to find ice, and they land in a spot, and they're like, well, we're going to land different from where we're supposed to because, you know, we got to beat Russia now.
Yeah.
And so then they land at a crater, find some ice. Russia lands at the same crater. And now you got this situation where nobody else is really on the moon but you and Russia now because they have the little bases.
Mm-hmm.
But up until then, you didn't need locks on the door. People would, like, your shit was just left alone and you just leave stuff out there. But as soon as Russia is also up there, then there's this whole other element of like, oh, fuck, they're spying on us.
Oh, yeah.
They're fucking with our drilling sites. You know, I just find it fascinating. Being like, cool, we got this new unexplored territory, and now we need locks. We need to put locks on the fucking doors.
And speaking of space stuff, aren't those astronauts kind of stuck in space
They're
for a
not
little while?
stuck.
Well, they keep saying they're stuck. Like they can't bring them down right now. Like they're in that. They have to. No. They have to repair the the docking mechanism. So they can't get them down for, I think, another month or something like that. Did you not read about that?
The only thing I was hearing about was the Starliner capsule still leaking. It's like Boeing's capsule had a had a helium leak.
And is this the one where the astronauts are on the space station?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's currently hooked up. That's like the most recent one that went up to the space station.
But they were only supposed to go up for a month, is what I read.
Yeah, it was supposed to be about a month.
And now it's like 3-4 months?
Yeah, that's also not crazy
You
unusual.
sound exactly like fucking NASA. You don't give a shit, do you? You're like, man, they're expendable. What the
No,
fuck?
it's not even
You don't give
that.
a shit. Start playing this anyway. All right, we've grieved enough. All right, time over. Time to move on. All right, Ellen.
No, it's they can bring them down if they want to. The thing can still undock and it can still, you know, all you got. The helium that they use is pretty much just to like pressurize the other tanks. But you also use other gases for that too.
Okay. Well, I heard there was docking issues. Maybe I'm not as informed.
I haven't heard about the docking issues, but I can look into it. I'll report back with my findings.
Do you remember that time that there was the wasn't it the docking of the space station, and so you played docking while you were playing the docking game and watching the docking footage?
Yeah.
That was the hat trick there of docking for sure.
Yeah, nothing about a docking port being damaged.
Oh, maybe it was Don Dawkin went up there. That's what I read. Don Dawkin is up there. He's just jamming. We're the Dream Warriors.
Dude, Freddy Krueger bought them houses.
He sure did. Well, that was the subplot, and it was the long-term goal of Freddy, was to undermine the value of the neighborhood with murder and destruction of the houses, buy it up in a swath, and then develop it for vacation homes.
Vacation homes,
Office properties, parking lots, Holocaust denial centers. You start your own Holocaust denial center. Learn the truth.
But have completely different points.
Yeah, give your alternate history.
Yeah, the denial bit of the Holocaust was that it didn't happen in Poland. It was actually over in Japan. It's like it's still a bad thing, but it's inconsequential if you really think about it.
Oh, man.
That is one of the themes in that show is the astronauts get stranded on the moon there for a while.
Yeah.
And so one of them, just because like there's all this, rocket explodes on the pad, so they're like, we can't send you another until like the FAA tells us we're good to fly again. So then one guy ends up losing his mind a little bit because, you know, you're on the moon. You're alone, same fucking everything all the time. And so he's losing his mind a little bit. And they're like, well, we got to get this guy home somehow. But if we tell NASA that he's gone mentally insane, he's going to lose his pilot's license, he's never going to fly again.
Yeah.
So then this lady drops a heavy-ass battery and breaks her arm so that she's the reason they get to go home.
Oh, gotcha.
That's one of those things where it feels like that's more of a writer's room type thing versus like
real world. They'd be like, no, we have to think of something else. You'd be like, break my arm. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
You insane?
No, we're just going to tell them that you're not fit to fly anymore. We got to get you home.
We have to follow protocol.
Yeah. So there's some liberties taken with it, but it's so far a pretty interesting show.
And what's it called again?
For All Mankind.
For All Mankind.
Yeah.
One small... instead of one small step, what do they say? Do they say one small step for comrade, one giant step for borscht portions?
Yeah, I think the Russian dude said something about for the lifestyle of the Marxism.
Oh,
yeah. It's a really corporate thing.
For the motherland.
Yeah.
Right?
And then when Neil and Buzz finally landed, they said something to the effect of, "That was a rough one."
They kick over the Russian flag, break it in half,
wipe their butt with it. Can't get it through the suit.
Well, it was all faked anyway, so you know.
And that was one of the things in that show I was wondering there for a while too. Is just Russia telling you guys they did all this, and you're having to overcompensate. They kind of had you guessing for a little bit, which was pretty cool. You didn't know if Russia had actually landed there.
You see Kubrick walking out of the launch control area.
Yeah,
like, something's going on here.
But with a production like that, where you're trying to simulate like being in space or reduced moon gravity on an Apple TV budget, there's a couple things where it looks a little funky. Like there's a moment where two guys on the moon get in like a little bit of a scuffle inside the moon base, and they're walking around relatively normally because they're forgetting they're just acting. Mm-hmm. So they're walking around like you would on Earth, but then there's this little fight that starts to happen, and this guy grabs the other one and just gets thrown so hard and violently against the ceiling. It just made no sense compared to the rest of the movement. Like, you just...
Did they speed it up a little bit or something? Or
No, they had him on wires.
Oh, and just pulled him back all sick.
Really hard, yeah. Yeah.
Well, hopefully everybody comes down safe.
I hope so.
So how many seasons? Is this like a brand new show? Or
No, it's been going for several years. I think there's like 5 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just got a little trial for Apple TV so I could peer in and blast on through it while I have all these fucking nights to myself right now.
Ah, that's cool. Get some watching in.
Yeah, can only goon for so long.
Yeah, right. You can only go to the Gooner's Paradise every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
We were, what else? Oh, yeah, you know what? Monumental, speaking of American achievement, I mean, you have space exploration, and then you have hamburgers, right?
Yeah.
They're both American. Now, given the choice of whether we pour all our government dollars into space or into hamburger research, I vote hamburger research.
There's room for both.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
We're in the end of Western Civilization 2 class. I think it's a second-year class.
It's a good documentary.
It's pretty... And it's pretty interesting because they talk about, in this text, they talk about how there was much backlash from the impoverished people in America. While America was launching their space program, there were still a lot of people living below the poverty line. So there was a lot of protest and backlash from certain parts of the population that were like, hey, how can you spend billions on space research, but you can't, really do much to in the way of social programs, So then I think it was actually Lyndon Johnson, is what the text indicates, that instituted a lot of these social programs. And part of it, the Romans they knew that you can't have the masses, complaining and wanting. Part of running a successful society is appeasing, a certain amount of the populace, giving them a chance, giving them something back. And that's what Lyndon Johnson kind of instituted some of these policies to make people feel like, okay, they're doing the space race and they're putting all this research into money or money into research for space development and military technology, but why are people still poor kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so they did, I couldn't name all the social programs that they kind of instituted, but like the Head Start preschool program and stuff like that. Like free Head Start preschool program, stuff like that. And so it was their way of kind of assuaging people that were like, how can you spend all this money on space research but not on poor people, right?
Yeah, I think it's also an interesting thought that, that idea, like people complaining that space research is expensive, kind of have this thought about it where there's not going to be any benefit to them into the technology that comes from that research. Like a lot of different technologies have become more accessible due to space research.
Sure. And
so I think that's one of those things where on the surface they're like, what does going to the moon do for us? We need. I understand that part of it, but it's also like it looks a little short-sighted.
Well, it's hard
to
appreciate GPS technology 40 years or 30 years before its fruition, when you're hungry and your kids are hungry, or you don't think you have opportunities.
Yeah, but now GPS can tell you where you can't afford food.
Well, that doesn't help you 30 years ago.
Helps us now.
Now it does, and I think that speaks to like what you're saying is like in the moment it's hard to realize that stuff, but eventually most of it develops into a good thing. Of course, some of it has now allowed us to shoot rockets at each other from space, so that's another offshoot of that technology, right?
Yeah. But you were talking about burger research.
Ah, yes, burger research. Speaking of brilliant things, I couldn't believe, I thought this was, I saw like, sometimes have you ever seen people send like lasagna or even soup or something in like a Ziploc bag? And sometimes it doesn't, it's like Ziplocked and all the air's out of it, so it doesn't look like food.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you open it and you're like, oh, it's lasagna. Or, oh, it's, I thought it was like just meat and cheese is what I thought this was. But it's an actual burger. It's just a huge-ass burger, right?
Yeah. So this is the 20 by 20. I think this is I don't know, Danny Trejo's in the video, but I don't know if this is something like his restaurant is putting out or something.
Did they hit him with a water balloon in this?
I got the 20 by 20 hamburger ready. Now,
first of all, can you pause that? He is holding. How many? Is that even a patty? What the fuck is that?
I'm assuming it's 20 patties and 20 pieces of cheese.
Holy shit. Okay, that makes sense.
So 20 by 20.
I was going to ask you what the 20 by 20 was for, but
look at his fucking eyes. It looks like just by looking at the 20 by 20, his blood pressure has skyrocketed.
He's got a shit just by looking at the burger, right? Have you ever eaten like a Dave's triple?
You eat a Dave's quadruple?
Oh, dude, you eat a Dave's quadruple at Wendy's, guaranteed you're gonna shit 10 minutes later, dude. It's just the way it works. It's too much food.
I'm still trying to figure out what's happening for dinner. That sounds good.
Yeah, so a 20 by 20. I mean, it looks delicious. Would you? I mean, if you were given this, you would take a few bites, right? No? Not big on cheeseburgers?
I love a cheeseburger. It's just this feels a little gimmicky, like it might not be seasoned at all. Like it's just 20 fucking unsalted patties.
It's still got to be good.
It might be.
I'm going to try it.
Is there even a bun?
No, I can't do it.
I got it, Danny.
Monster Jaw Kid. Yeah. That is horrific.
That I would definitely try that. They used to, I think probably one of the biggest burgers I ever had was the they used to have the Bennigan's place. You know, it was like a pub, old Bennigan's, and they had the Bennigan's Big Burger, and it was like this huge patty, like this big. And usually I would get that, on hangover days. That was really good. But it wasn't as much meat and cheese as this is, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a lot.
When's Beetlegeist 2 come out?
September.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm I don't know, man. I wanna be excited for it.
Yeah.
It looks fine. The characters look fine.
Mm-hmm.
They look like a Beetlejuice thing, but
you're just
is it gonna?
I think
can it stand on its own? I don't think it can because you already have to be familiar with the grandpa character Jeffrey Jones having died.
Well, I was gonna say that's probably the reason you don't think it'll be successful.
How are you gonna make this movie work without Jeffrey Jones?
He shared so many important files. How are you gonna get rid of him and just like? I love that shit when they just unceremoniously kill the character off camera and they're like. There's so much bad shit attached to this person. We just had to totally pretend they don't exist now.
The classic example, Charlie Sheen.
Charlie.
2.5 Men.
Oh, yeah.
2.5 Men, they drop a piano on him.
And then there's this. Have you ever heard of this show called Leverage?
I don't think
It's like one
so.
of those shows on Ion and these shows that like the TV Guide channel and stuff. And so it's not like a top tier show, but it's got its moments. It's like one of those kind of cheesier ones. But the actors are good enough to where, especially Beth Riesgraf, wow. The actors are good enough to where they bring life into the series. This series. I always see it on the Samsung TV and Sling TV, on the free channels, because that's kind of like one of the shows that they run on these free channels. And there were 2 incarnations. There was the original one from 2008 to 2012, I believe, and then there was the reboot. They both starred kind of the same cast. It was about these guys that were criminals, and they turned their lives around, and they got back at other criminals who were cheating people, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Beth Riesgraf, by the way, ex-wife of Jason Lee, of Mallrats fame. But
Not Jennifer Jason Lee.
No. But they where the hell was I going with that?
Leverage.
Leverage.
Shows where they unceremoniously killed
Oh
off
yeah,
their main
so
character.
the main character was Timothy Hutton. He was like the guy that like brought this team together because he felt bad about what a shitty person he was, and so he brought this team together and they busted criminals or got people's money back. They were the good guys, and then in the reboot they had to write Timothy Hutton, his character, off because there were rape allegations.
Oh,
Whoops.
no.
And so the opening, like the first episode, is them gathered at his funeral, and, and it's, he died of a heart attack. And you're just like, man, that's fucking cold-blooded, bro.
So these are some other shows that apparently killed off their main character. I don't know if Game of Thrones is a good example. I don't think they killed him off because of his actor, or like the actor being a problem.
Yeah, what's his name? Sean. What is it?
William
Sean
Scott?
Bean. No,
Oh.
Sean Bean right here. That's not Sean Stifler on Game of Thrones. And they just put Stifler on Game of Thrones, because sometimes they would throw in cameos there. But I felt the cameos always held the tone of the show. Like you didn't ever have Tom Cruise on there or someone crazy famous.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, but he was just some guard, and it was implied that he was killed later too.
I hope so.
The Night King, the Wire guy. But were these? Well, John Ritter died. He died, so I guess they're like, well, can't we just Weekend at Bernie's him? We'll change the show to 8 Rules about Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, 2.5 Men, The OC. I don't know. This is just what came up when I did a
Misha
cursory search.
Barton. She had to leave the show for mental health reasons. She was the kid in The Sixth Sense who was barfing all the time.
Oh, the one whose mom gave her Pine Sol.
Yeah, but she still barfed all the time. It's kind of the kid's fault. Misfits? What? Oh,
Don't know
yeah,
what
that
that
was
show
another
is.
show.
6 Feet Under. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
some of these are probably a little better than others.
And then, of course, you had Paul Rubens, who was
Pee-wee.
Pee-wee.
I don't think they wrote him off. They just stopped making stuff for him.
Well, I think he was. He had ended Pee-wee's Playhouse, and then he was between jobs. Charmed was that's a good little show, man. Those
A good little show.
yeah, those ladies are classic in the '90s.
I did enjoy it. I also enjoyed Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That was good. Supernatural's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but none of these people were kicked off for sharing files.
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Jones and allegations against Timothy Hutton. But that's pretty cold-blooded when they just when your character dies off screen.
Dude, Charlie Sheen got done so hard because his piano jingle writer did a song, and they drop a fucking piano on him to kill him.
Yeah, well, they brought him back just to kill him. Like, he was dead the whole second part of, when Ashton Kutcher takes over. They say that he fell on a electrified...
Wait, they retconned it 2 seasons later?
Well, they said that when he died, he fell on I think a sub rail like a
third rail.
Yeah. And he got electrocuted and exploded or burst into flames. And then later on, they're like, oh, they misidentified or something. Something happened. He's still alive. He faked his death.
They wanted him dead twice.
Well, it was Chuck Lorre's way of saying fuck you to Charlie Sheen one more time. And since then, they've actually reconciled. And I think they've worked together since then. So that's kind of funny.
It's like, that was a crazy time, right?
But the word is that, when he was doing all that crazy shit, Charlie Sheen, when he was doing, like, being fucking nutsoid and talking about tiger blood, it was because he was dealing with his AIDS diagnosis.
Banging 7-gram rocks, dude.
Yeah, and just going fucking nuts out of his mind on all these drugs. So it was interesting to see him meet with the mainstream media, all fucking crazy and methed out.
Going on his tours. With nothing really to perform.
With nothing. He wasn't a stand-up. He'd just go out there and say, I'm winning! And then
we're going to capitalize on this momentum. Yeah. What an era. What was that, 2011?
Yeah, 2011, 2012.
Yeah. Man.
What's the holiday roach in?
Oh, that's, it's a friendly prank between some friends.
Roaches, even when you're high, you're like, you don't like, because when you're high, things affect you less sometimes, depending on which
or
high,
more.
Or more, yeah. But sometimes there have been times when I've been really high and I'll look and there'll be a cockroach and I'll be like, hey, how's it going? I'm not going to kill you today. I just hope you're not swollen with babies that you'll be laying later. Have you ever seen a cockroach have babies?
So in that old
little
apartment,
Yeah.
it was that apartment complex was infested.
Uh-huh.
And I had to stop using a coffee maker because they started finding their way into the coffee maker.
Oh, the baby cockroaches?
No, adults. And no matter what I was doing, they would spray for them, but they were in the fucking walls and everything. So, like, I started, but like, I would open up a drawer and find these little fucking shiny things, little egg sacs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everywhere.
Delicious, right?
In my fucking silverware drawers,
dude.
the fucking up with the food. There was nothing I could do.
Damn.
It was awful. So I got some like awful, nasty chemicals and started laying them all around, and that kind of helped a little. But ultimately moving out was the situation.
Damn. Did you have any roaches in any of your stuff when you moved?
No.
Well, that's good.
No, because we moved to another apartment in that complex that wasn't as bad. Not nearly as bad.
I remember.
And so that was a couple months, and then we got this house, and then by then it was pretty much everything was easy.
That apartment was so weird. Set up there, right?
Yeah.
For the show and everything?
Yeah. Making do with a 1-bedroom apartment.
That's nuts. And then was Curtis living with you guys at that time or no?
The second apartment, yeah.
Oh, man. In 1-bedroom apartment?
No, that was a 2-bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would be fucking crazy.
Remember how dirty your toilet got in the first apartment? Well, those are bachelor days. Plus, we drank a lot more then,
Yeah.
So there wasn't a whole lot of cleaning all the time, because then who wants a bunch of scumbag comics coming over and pissing all over the seat anyway?
Making me have to clean it out, yeah. Yeah.
There was a lot more drinking back then. But, we were never as bad neighbors as this guy who, is probably, I'd say, is the worst neighbor ever. If he's even a neighbor, I mean, what makes a neighbor? Someone who's just lives in close proximity. But what if they live in the floorboards? Does that make them a neighbor?
I wasn't entirely sure which one you were going to. Because you brought up the Roach Motel thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they're both good.
Yeah.
I think I started to go toward the Roach one, but...
This is how roaches got in.
What the fuck are you doing in my house?
I'm sorry to bust in like this.
Sorry to bust in like this.
He's just...
It's my 16th case that I've had so far. And
Hold on, I got something for your ass.
spread.
So he's trying to say he beat 16 cases at Chuck E. Cheese. Like
Yeah.
he got 16 different charges for something.
If it happened at Chuck E. Cheese, it can't be good charges.
Spread 'em.
See Jeffrey Jones.
They're gonna fucking love it.
Is that where he came tunneling from?
I think so.
Who?
People in prison.
I'm not going to prison. I'm not going to prison. Yeah,
Why would you say something dumb like, I'm not going to prison? Why do you think I'm going to prison?
3 strikes, buddy.
First off, what would I go to prison for, bro? You're in my fucking house. Arkansas criminal code is gonna back me up on this one.
Is that his eyelash right there? Or?
I think it's just some hair. It's a shadow of his hair.
Oh, okay.
He pulls out a fucking law book.
Well,
I done beat 16 cases at Chuck E. Cheese's, boy.
Chuck E. Cheese, multiple Chuck E. Cheeses.
Yeah, I thought this was an update on the New York City Hasidic tunnels.
Okay. Well, don't let the roaches in.
Subcontractors. Yeah, don't let the roaches in.
Should we do Roach Motel?
Yeah, I was just trying to cue that up.
Because
Because now that there's a hole in this guy's fucking house, guess what's going to come spewing through?
Yeah, better get some bug traps. Delicious. Oh, and he's dead asleep, too. What kind of friend does that, dude?
Look at it. The strings.
That or having your lip bit by the barber.
Oh, yeah, those are okay.
As long as he's got white teeth, like that one barber had, that's cool.
Which would you rather? Yeah, the barber probably had a little bit cleaner oral hygiene than these roaches.
Oh, look, is it on his tongue? Or
Yeah,
just
it is.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. These are both just awful pranks.
I feel that's poor guy. How dare you?
The utter look of, why the fuck would you do that?
Is that what we got a strike for that one time? For showing that?
Yeah, it might have been.
I think I remember now. I was like, oh yeah.
And then we got a YouTube strike this week for the San
naked
Francisco
guys,
nudists. Right? Yeah, even though that video, everything was censored already.
Yeah, that's...
I appealed it. YouTube said, fuck you.
Mike YouTube, huh?
Yeah.
Pain in our ass.
Yeah, eternally.
What do you have going on this week?
Fucking more pumpkin maintenance.
Oh yeah, how's that pumpkin going?
So it's gotten to the point where I can no longer scoot it forward or anywhere on my own effort.
Wow.
I tried. I got behind this fucking thing because the way as it's growing, it grows both forwards and backwards, and the vine gets pressure put on it. So as it grows this way, the vine kind of goes from straight to bent and wants to kink.
Yeah.
So to prevent that, you scoot the pumpkin back opposite direction of where the beginning of the plant is. I can't do that anymore by hand.
What's your method?
I don't have one.
Oh,
but
shit.
what you're supposed to do is you put a big T-post in the ground. You get something called a come-along and a ratchet strap. You fucking put the strap around the pumpkin, hook the ratchet strap to the come-along, and then you fucking crank it and move it forward that way. But
Okay.
I'm not going to keep buying more and more shit because, dude, at this point, I don't think I'm going to be able to move this fucking thing. I think
After
it's
it's
too
grown.
big. Yeah, it's too big to get out of my fucking yard even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I would have to hire a news chopper to lift it out. Like, that's a way to do it. You know, have it hover, hook it up, fucking get out of there. That's a way, but that's not going to fucking happen. I called a piano moving company to try to get a quote, and they're like, that'll be like $400. And I'm like, well, this thing's like growing 30 pounds a day. And he's like, oh, so it's going to be like a grand piano. It's going to be more like $600. But also, you should know, I'm not insured for if we damage a pumpkin.
Oh,
I'm insured for pianos.
So, like, if they drop it, it's like, oh, right, sorry.
Yes, because he said he'd have to hire like 5 dudes to be able to get under this thing. And it's not even a guarantee that any of this would actually work.
Yeah.
I could build a wooden tripod thing, but you have to get $150 worth of timber, put a big fucking steel thing through it, stand it up, get an engine hoist, lift that bitch up, and then you have to still worry about getting it out of the yard.
Yeah, huh?
I don't think I'm going to be able to do it.
You'd have to take your fence down or something.
People have suggested that. They're like, cinder blocks are cheap. I'm not a contractor. I'm a fucking renter, but by the way. I think Not that that's the biggest issue. This
Just
fucking
call
owner
the-
would be fine with it.
Just call the Kool-Aid man over from behind the wall.
Get this dude to tunnel into fucking.
Oh, yeah.
He'll build it in a fucking half an hour.
Yeah, dude. He's beat cases at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna actually be able to get this thing out of my yard to get it weighed anywhere or anything, or to get it in the front yard. I might be able to get it in the front yard for Halloween if I carve it and take a bunch of weight off of it.
Yeah.
But even then, that would be like such a pain in the ass because it's at 661 pounds today. It's slowing down. The growth is slowing.
Yeah. So what is your? What do you think? Are you gonna document it as much as you can, and then?
Yeah, I guess so. But also, I don't want to keep posting stuff if I'm documenting it to like the pumpkin growers groups because they'll be like, "Great pumpkin, come get it fucking certified."
Have you put
and I can't.
Have you put it out there to ask people like that are in the know, and that's all the things they've suggested?
Yep, they suggest knocking down the wall. They suggest, like I said, setting up a big fucking wooden tripod thing with all this lumber to get the thing lit. Because honestly, that's like the standard way to lift these things is you have to get an engine hoist.
Yeah, like
essentially,
an engine hoist.
with a frame big enough to fit around the thing.
And then maybe back something up through the yard.
That's the standard way to do it, but I don't have the ability to do that without knocking down a fucking wall.
Well, maybe, I guess, in the future, that would be something to think about as you...
Grow smaller pumpkins. Maybe
or-
grow giant watermelons that top out at 250 pounds.
Or grow it somewhere in a different area that's more accessible.
Yeah, yeah.
If that's
an
possible,
accessible
that makes it a
yard
little
would be
bit
the
harder.
thing. Yeah. But so I think it might just end up being carved for Halloween and lit up in the backyard at this rate. Who fucking knows?
Put some M80s in it. 4 or 5 M80s.
Put it up on Facebook Marketplace as a casita.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's organic and it's no plumbing, but it's rustic.
Yeah, it smells good.
Yeah.
Has nice guts.
Yeah.
You want a house with nice guts.
Yeah, it's got good bones.
Good innards.
Yeah.
And a house with nice innards.
Yeah.
Nothing falling down.
And to be completely honest, I'm kind of burned out right now with how
Yeah.
much fucking shit I've been having to do for the last 3 months. It's daily, dude. I'm mixing up fertilizer literally every single day, taking 30 minutes to go water it in, go spray the plant off so the fertilizer doesn't burn the fucking leaves or anything like that. Then since you gotta go put out fucking pesticide, and every 2 weeks you gotta fucking spray a fungicide, and this shit's nasty, dude. Like, I was
Right.
spraying a fungicide like last week.
Mm-hmm.
My nose might have started burning a little. Like, it's probably not good at all.
What's this stuff? Agent Orange?
It's called Eagle 20, but
DDT?
some pumpkin growers refer to it as cancer in a bottle.
Oh,
Yeah.
must be healthy.
Yeah, so I think this is my last year for a while. Because it's out of my system now that I'm, like, overwhelmed with it. Like, okay, I have this giant fucking pumpkin.
You've taken
I
it
can't
to
move
its
it.
limit.
Yeah, I've
Like
taken
the-
it to my limit.
Like the Eagles said, take it to the limit.
Yeah,
You're there, Alan.
I'm there.
So you're going to do all that shit tomorrow, too? Like, keep going with the routine for the foreseeable future?
I gotta feed it tonight, yeah. Like I said, the growth is slowing down since it's getting into the day 42 today. So from here on out, it's just gonna slow down in growth. I don't think I'm gonna be hitting any records, though.
Okay. Potential Problems Podcast. Oh, wait. Big announcement. Albuquerque Funny Fiesta, everybody. That'll be in September, I believe, and going to be on that. A ton of funny comics from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and some great out-of-town comics coming for that one. Make sure you check it out. That's Albuquerque Funny Fiesta. And then August 16th, in just a couple weeks, I will be at Dry Heat Comedy Club. Check that out. Always a good time. Other than that, I was telling you I read Johnny Carson's a book by his lawyer, Henry, what was his name? Bushnick. And he tells a bunch of stories about Johnny being an asshole, which is kind of cool. There's a bunch of cool stories about that. So that's what I was doing. And I'll probably read some more about Artie Lang, that sad sack. But brilliant, hilarious. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Have a great week. See ya, Alan.
Goodbye.